Hey everyone, this is Rachel and welcome to another scrapbooking process video. If you hang out until after the video is through, there are always detailed shots of my current layout. Let's get going! Hey everyone, welcome to another episode of Lift and Sketch with Christy and Rachel. Today we are taking on that lovely lift by Amanda Baldwin. It's absolutely beautiful and it has mixed media, so we're gonna see what happens. I've pulled out a bunch of stuff from Pink Brush Studio. Couldn't remember the name of the company. Okay. And then also some marshmallow cardstock. I've got a couple of distress oxides and some shimmers mists for the mixed media part. I've also pulled out from some stamps that are coffee themed, and I've also pulled out, beyond the Christmas stuff here, a couple of things that have some coffee stuff on them, just in case I want to use them. All right, so I'm gonna go ahead, get you guys put on fast forward and get started with this layout. Before I do, I just wanna say, make sure you head on over to Christy's channel and check out her take on this lift and see what she does. All right, folks, let's get going. So what I have here is some older Pink Fresh Studio collection, Christmas collections. I believe one is Oh Joy and the other is Christmas Wishes. And I have some various papers and embellishments from both of those lines. So I have some marshmallow cardstock. So for those of you who don't know, this is a basil smooth cardstock, but it's just a little bit thicker and it holds up to light mixed media. So I'm jumping ahead because it took me a while to get the washi tape down, but I'm just putting several layers of washi tape, and then I took one of the washi tapes and ripped it in half so I get a rough edge rather than a straight edge. And I'm taking my distress oxide in tumble glass, I think that's what it's called, I don't remember, and I added a lot of water to it so it's pretty wet down, and of course there's a cat hair there that I had to pick up. And now I'm doing another layer of the tumble glass, only this time I'm not adding water to it, so I get that mix of color. And then I'm going to do a final layer of broken china just to add that depth of color and to give it a two-color thing. This is going to be the main part of this. I'm going to peel that washi tape back off carefully. Now, obviously, I could have added gesso, but to be honest, I was super lazy and I didn't want to do it. So that's often why I don't do it. And then I regret it because it's a little bumpy, but it's fine. Now, I went ahead and let that dry, and now I've got some Shimmers products in these three blue, Cold as Ice, uh, Chance of Rain, and Frostbite. I'm also, I believe, going to add Jenny B. Blue into that mix as well, because I almost always add Jenny B. Blue into anything I'm doing that has any shade of blue and or turquoise. So I'm just liberally sprinkling. I did cover up a little bit with some paper, as you can obviously see. Now, I didn't do that with the washi tape, and I really should have, because I did get a little bit on the parts that are supposed to be white. It's not a big deal. I mean, it's not perfect, but hey, when is anything perfect? So while that's drying, I'm going to go ahead and start working on my layers. In Amanda's original layout, she had lots of layers going on, so I wanted to mimic that as well. And I just have various scraps. They're larger scraps, obviously, but I'm just going ahead, and I did something silly. I didn't look through all of my scraps before I did this, and that first one, that it's a gray and white dot, but the backside was that line of trees. I was like, ugh, I'd wanted to use that line of trees or something, but I'm like, but I really need this as the background. And then I went and I found another piece of that same paper. So I was annoyed with myself. So word to the wise, go ahead and look through all of your scraps before you go ahead and cut into a paper you were considering using for another layout. Is it the end of the world? No, it is not. So I'm just going back and forth with a neutral color and then a bright color. I want to bring that red in. There's red in the photo of the Starbucks cup, and I'm also going to bring red into some of the mixed media. So I definitely wanted to pull that into my paper layers as well. And I'm going heavy on the layers here because, as I said, I'm scrap lifting and I like that look. And it also just builds up the photo and brings focus to the photo, since I am only using one 4x4 photo in this particular layout.
So now all of that is dry, but the mixed media is not over. I have this stamp set, and it's a stamp set of coffee cups, different styles, and I'm just testing to make sure I like it before I actually put it, where you can see it. And I do not know what stamp set this is or where it came from. I purchased it from another scrapbooker who was destashing. So I'm sure she told me who it's by, but I do not remember. So I've got the small cup style, and then I've got the large cup style, and now including the stamp set were like you could make vertical stripes on the big one, you could make horizontal stripes on the smaller one. So I did the cups in tumble glass, and now I'm doing the stripes in broken china, just to once again bring in that two-tone look. And then in Amanda's original layout, she also had some brighter pops of color. So what I'm going to do is pull in festive berries. And once again, I'm just going to test it to make sure I actually like it. And once again, I actually do. So I'm going to go ahead and scatter some of these hearts all around, because the point of this story is that I really liked this Starbucks cup. This was from their 2018 holiday collection, and I was super happy to get this cup because I always was getting, I'm sorry, the rest of the cups were pretty ugly this particular year. That weird giant green houndstooth and the red dragon eye looky one, I just didn't care for them. This was my favorite cup. And funnily enough, my nephew actually bought me the real version of this cup for Christmas, which I was so excited about. I was like, oh my gosh, this is my favorite one. Um, totally aside there. So that's actually, I took this picture because I got the cup, and then it turned out that I ended up getting a gift from it. Woohoo! Okay, so I've pulled out the acetate pieces from, I believe that is, I don't know if it's the Oh Joy or it's the Christmas Wishes. I will be totally honest. No clue. But I'm layering that acetate piece. I just wanted that stripe. I didn't necessarily need the words below it. I'm also pulling out that one that says good cheer. And now I'm going to the cardstock stickers, and I'm going to get really annoyed because look, they use the word a lot, which is not actually a word. It's two words. I was inordinately annoyed at that. And you can see Xanthi's ears poking in at the top there. So I have this tissue paper with gold foil, and I know I'm going to be using gold foil polka dots, and I know I'm going to be using the alphas from this, and I know that has gold foil as well. So I wanted to pull a little bit of that gold foil over into where the photo is. So I'm going to go ahead and do like a major match with these, with the tissue paper as well. I love the way this ended up looking. I love the way this entire layout ended up looking. It was a labor of love. It took a while, and I'm going ahead and, sorry, I got a phone call and I just wanted to look who it was. It's just people wanting to take my blood. The American Red Cross, I had to skip my last appointment because I was sick. So now they call me all the time trying to make a new appointment. So sorry, distracted. So I'm just trimming up the tissue paper, going ahead and laying glue down. Tissue paper can be fussy, but it also is very forgiving. So I'm definitely getting better at using it in my layouts. I actually love the look of it, but I just never think to use it for some reason. So I think if I just leave this laying out, I tend to use it just a little bit more. You do have to fill in the crevices with glue though, because otherwise you have it popping off the page way more than you want. Give it a little trim, and we're good to go. So these cardstock stickers are a pain in the butt to get off, but I do pull off that one, and it actually says sparkle on it, and I'm going to use that in a little bit, but right now I have lost one of the acetate pieces I had planned to use, so I'm trying to look around for it. And apparently I didn't bother to cut this part out, so I apologize for that. And I realized at the same time, oh, you know what? You never took off the branding strip, so you should probably do that. So I go ahead and do that, and that's where I find, I believe I found the other acetate piece at this point. Have I? Have I really? Nope, apparently not. So I'm checking to see if there is a cover on it, and there is not. And yes, I have found the other acetate piece. So I'm going to go ahead and use my tiny attacher to attach that to the photo. And then I'm also going to attach the good cheer. I'm going to try my hardest to get my tiny attacher to work on both sides, but it wasn't. I'm not that, you know, super happy to try to figure out a way to. I know you can like open it up and do it into something soft and then push the things down, but I'm just usually when I start scrapbooking and I'm into at this point, I'm just in the zone and I just want to keep moving forward. And if I had to go and get all of that stuff, it breaks my concentration and then I'm just not able to finish as fast. So I'm going ahead and I'm pulling out the letters for my title. As I said, I'm using the alphas from the Pink Fresh Studio Christmas line, and I am going to go ahead and, oh, before I do that, I should probably stay with what I'm doing. I'm going to go ahead and layer that cardstock sticker under that acetate piece, which then you can, I believe it says something like winter wishes, something along those lines. And so once I do that, I'm going to go ahead and get my title down. Now, when I have this type of layout where I've got the mixed media angled, I've got the photo angled, I want to use my T-square ruler to keep my title straight. It just, otherwise it'd be super wonky. I absolutely, as I said before, love the way this layout turned out, and I was just super happy with it. I thought it was just a gorgeous layout when I saw it on Instagram, so I was, as I said, very happy to do it. Now, once again, when I have this type of layout where I've got a lot of angles going on, normally I would just write my journaling. I wouldn't bother putting lines down, but because I wanted it to be straight, I went ahead and used my T-square ruler once again to create lines. And I often get a comment that, oh wow, you managed to get your lines perfect to the amount of words you had. And so this is what I do. I draw a couple of lines, I start writing what I'm going to write, and then once I get to a certain point, I realize how long my journaling is going to be, so I'll add more lines at that point. I am almost done here. One last thing to do, and that is to add this wood veneer, which has been in my stash for so long, and I'm super happy I finally had something to use it on. That is my layout. Make sure you head on over to Christy's channel and check out her video, and if you could flick me a thumbs up, that would be super great. Thanks everyone. Bye!